And it was always in my head, but I had that masculinity thing, like, oh, should I this it, blah, 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 like, oh, am I a man if she don't have my name, da da da. And but I already knew. This is the thing. I already knew about ownership and what that last name stuff meant, and about this idea that women couldn't own property. She was the property of a man, and that's why she took a man's last name. And I knew all of this, but I wasn't comfortable in my own masculinity and manhood to be like, no, it's okay. But then we talked about it. I was like, yeah,
But what was her thing? Like, why did she want to, have her name back?
because she comes from a strong lineage of people. Like her family, like when she loses her name, you lose your lineage. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it's also it's this thing about women, like they don't deserve to carry the name of their families. Like why is a man's name more important, the legacy more important than a woman to carry the name of their family? And that's some weird.
So what's your son's name?
His last name is Hall. His last name is the same as mine.
Why is that though?
I did one that we couldn't change the name too. Like,
But you would have? Like, how does that work? If you like, what would you
you're
change it
asking me
to?
some tough questions. I think it'll be, if we change it, it would
It'll
be
be
both
it'll
last
be
names.
both last
But
names?
now that's his decision. He's 18. Yeah. So he could do it. He could choose it if he wants to.
So if you had the child after, then you both decided to separate the names, then there would be a conversation about what his last name would be.
I was just confused by that question.
So you said that you were already like y'all were married
Yeah.
when you had King. So she already had your last name when you had King.
Yeah.
So it wasn't
Yeah.
even
It
a conversation.
wasn't. Yeah. It was just.
What I'm saying is, if you had your last name and she had your last name and King was born, during that time, it would have been a conversation about
Yeah.
his last name.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So,
you don't feel a way about like
so let me tell
him.
you this. There's a lot of conversation around masculinity and manhood, especially with your own family, that, anytime that you're making these types of decisions and you've been taught something for such a long time, and there's been a legacy of like manhood in your family. Like I'm one of 7, 6
Yeah.
boys. Like there's a conversation to be had. So every decision you make, if you're making a new decision, you're also defying the history of your family too, right? So as a young man in my early 20s, all of those things are kind of moving through my brain around like how to move, what to do, what not to do, what I feel in the inside, what I don't feel. So, but now I'm just like, I'm super excited, like around the idea that I don't want to own anybody. I don't want to have dominion over anybody. I don't want, that goes back to the location sharing that we'll talk about in a second.
And victorious.